Hello everyone. Let me know if you can hear me or not. I haven't streamed in a while, and it's very trippy watching myself on two places off to the side. So post in the chat if you can hear me okay, if you can hear the music okay, all the good stuff. Just let me know. Whoever my one concurrent viewer is, if you could speak up, that would be fantastic. Hopefully it's Seth. Seth did promise me that he'd watch this, so hopefully that is Seth, the mad dog. Okay, we're just gonna assume that it is. Okay, cool. Someone has messaged me to say, messenger to say it's coming to London Beer. Anyway, we're just gonna crack on with it. And so, hello and welcome to the channel. This is Overcharged Plasma Gaming. We are a competitive 40k channel who is restarting now. WTC is over, and I have time to actually go into this thing. So we are going to be talking about the WTC, the World Team Championship that happened this past week over in Mechelen, Brussels. I'm just going to shift the camera over slightly. And yeah, it was no, Mechelen, Belgium. Mechelen, Belgium. I'm so tired, as you can tell from it. 13 fantastic competitive games of 40k across the singles and the team event. But let me know who's watching. Come and chat with me. If you have any questions at any point, just stop me. Otherwise, you're just going to have unfiltered Chris rambling at you for the next probably hour or so. So yeah. I'm really off center. I've just shifted the camera, Doug. Is that better? And if it's triggering you, oh no. I'm just gonna keep moving it left now. Is that better? or is it the other way? Oh, technical support from the live chat. It always goes great, doesn't it? Anyway, hello Curie, hello Doug. Curie, tell Seth to come watch this because I put a hot tub in my thumbnail for him. So if he's not here, I'm disappointed in him. Anyway, so the WTC, the World Team Championship, for those of you who do not know what it is, and this is one of the largest, if not the largest, tournament in competitive 40k, certainly in team 40k in the world. Each team represents one country, and each country has its own methodology for selecting its team. Sometimes it's hey, do you know the captain? Other times it's hey, are you a good player? Often it's a mixture of both. So it was an experience getting onto the team in the first place, so I'm not going to talk about that. But what I will talk about is my experience once we got there, the highs and the lows of the WTC. So for this year and for the next 2 years, it was taking place in Mechelen, Belgium, which is about 20 minutes by train north of Brussels. Pretty easy to get to, actually. We made the mistake of going to Brussels Charleroi, which is the cheaper airport that Ryanair flies into. Hey Jose, hey! I played against Jose. I played against him. He's running around. Everyone say hi to Jose. He's awesome. Yeah, so we made the mistake of going to Brussels Roy Airport to save money, but then that ended up costing us an extra probably €30 at least each just to get an hour transfer to Brussels, then get the train. So next year, definitely going to fly just straight into Brussels Airport because that'll be so much easier. But I was there for a whole week. I was there Monday through Monday, taking part in the singles tournament as well because, and in his words as my captain, everyone should do the singles once to learn why they shouldn't do the singles. And I thought he was kidding. My feet and my calves at the end of it was not, because I ended up walking 11 kilometers per day. I'm a big guy. That's a lot of walking to get through. So, I definitely will not do the singles again next year when I forget how much my legs hurt. 100% never doing the singles again. Yeah. But anyway, so my first run of the singles was against the Belgian Death Guard player, a lovely guy called Pierre, and yes, Curie, I am definitely not doing the singles, and yes, Doug, if Seth the Mad Dog comes over to my house, I will get a hot tub somehow, probably a kiddie pool in the backyard, and we'll film out of that. I'm calling it now. So against Pierre, the Death Guard player for Belgium, it was a nice list he was running. Not the most optimized list. We discussed it after the game. He ended up winning 11-9. I made a slight mistake, which cost me the game. Death Guard into Blood Angels was is never a fun game. But yeah, just that followed by his one saying, "You don't count as charging." That's rough. I suppose I should also tell you roughly what I was playing, I suppose, as well, and that might be a good start. I was playing Blood Angels for Team Scotland. I had Dante, Sanguinor, Assault Incestors, Sanguinary Priest, Sanguinary Ancient, Selfless Eater, Rights of War, Wrath of Bower, Vormog, Rights of Warlord trait, Voidsman, Centurion Assaults, 5 of them, because I'm a snowflake, 3x7 Sanguinary Guard, the one Death Company unit, the one unit of Eliminators with the last few souls, the Speeder as well. I think that's my list. Pretty typical Blood Angels list, but with the Sanguinor and with the Centurion Assault Marines. So the Centurion Assault Marines are actually very useful into any type of Marine. That's why I like them. Really helped me into the Death Guard with their 45 Plague Marines. But the mistake I made was I tried to play both flanks, and which I thought I could do because of my speed. I realised that then kind of just let him have a very easy charge into my Sanguinary Guard with the unit of 10 Plague Marines with all the weapons. That was not very smart. Definitely not doing that again. So we ended up losing that game in 9-11. But hats off to PR, lovely opponent. He was very good, and was a nice, easy introduction into the WTC environment. By the way, whilst I was there, it was a heat wave. The photo of the thumbnail is me day one, arriving in the hall, dripping, already just not nice. Anyway, round 2, I get paired into Light Harlequins, and this is a bit of a matchup of nightmares for me, because Light Harlequins, they can go, "Oh, you're charging me? Haha, I'm going to run away." And this was actually the Team France's Light Harlequins player, who I don't think was part of the final squad, but was there as a support staff in the end. Lovely chap, fantastic game. We had 0 issues through it. He ended up winning 13-7 because he just outscores me. I was trying out a couple of secondaries, which I wasn't so sure about. Realized I had a much better secondary game plan in the end, and I could definitely tailor that to be a lot better. Yeah, Jose, not the weather for pasty Celtic men or Celtic men. Yeah, absolutely not. It was horrible. But yeah, hats off to Raphael. He played it flawlessly, and I made a couple of mistakes. But this is the singles is where you want to make your mistakes. You don't want to make them in the team event because the singles, if you get hammered, doesn't end up mattering. But my round 3 opponent in the singles was so much fun. You may know this name, Matthew Gibson. I think he's on Team Scotland. Yeah, round 3 I got paired against my teammate. Oh, that was funny. Dude was not happy. In previous events, we've like travelled down to Telford, England, 6 hours, 7 hours in the car, and then we play each other, and we live an hour away from each other up in Scotland. It's ridiculous. He was not happy about that whatsoever. But I was, because I knew I could beat him, because Bundy was at the Chaos Knights. But this is where my Chaos Knight misery, and I do mean misery, started at the WTC. Those of you who are at the WTC in the chat know my story of Chaos Knights in the singles. But I ended up getting the 12-8 victory in the end. We had a nice tight game of just trading and trading and trading. But dude exploded on me like 6 times naturally. I swear to God. And I probably ended up doing like 20 odd D3 mortal wounds to me. It was not fun. Sometimes knights can just chain explosion, and it's annoying to deal with. And it's like, I think Dante didn't get to swing at all before he died to mortal wounds from the knights. It was rough. And just watching Dante just evaporate like that is painful. But I never failed it. I don't think I ever failed a dread test against Matty, which is nice. Like, that was pretty funny to watch. I believe the Sanguinor also soloed us one of the War Dogs, which is also quite nice. So a couple of good spikes my way as well, but just so many explosions. It ends up ripping your heart out. My round 4 was a very entertaining round, and if Curie is still in the chat, send a message. Because it was against Curie, Jeremy Axon of Team Canada fame, of StatCheck fame, and his amazing Ravenwing, I'm going to table you so fast because I've got 9 multi-melters plus friends list. This is on Tides of Conviction. I remember this so clearly because it was a Tide of Conviction, so it wasn't a map which the WTC had updated at any point. And yeah, I had nowhere to hide anything beyond 4 servitors in that mission. It was horrible. Jeremy went first and shot my army with his army, and he also took away cover from one of my units. So in the end, he killed 10 Sanguinary Guard and 5 Death Company. So I got off easy. However, Jeremy was also within 17 inches of my Centurions. I think it was in like 14 inches roughly, something like that. It was like a 9-inch charge. So I was more than happy to oblige and bring the fight to him with Centurions. And it was a sight to behold watching those chunky boys get a terminal charge off a WTC. That was brilliant. But we ended up going 20-0 in my favour because once I bad touched him once, that was kind of enough. He couldn't really recover. We paid out his turn, talked about it for a bit, tried to see if there's a way out for him, and there just wasn't. So well played to Jeremy. I was certainly very, 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 very scared going into that game because just particularly once I saw the board, I was like, oh, I'm going to lose a lot of stuff here, aren't I? Right, okay then, off I go. So that was round 4, so a good solid win in the bank. Then we played Bart, who I can't remember what they were playing, which is bad of me. Let me look it up on the BCP. They were playing Thousand Suns, and I don't know if they were there for... I have a feeling that they were there for Belgium as well, but I'm not sure. But I ended up winning 15-5 that game. It was a very entertaining game against Bart. I do remember it being a good game, and just watching Terminators and Marines clash against Simon Regard is always entertaining, particularly when you can just end up just winning the game, which is always a nice bonus. And then I do remember my round 6 though, very clearly, because this is another Chaos Knights game against Nicolas of Team Portugal. And they were playing an Inferno house, which is unusual for me. I hadn't really practiced into much of Inferno house. It was more the Iconoclast, the Herpetax lists. And yeah, more mass War Dog explosions against me, which but this time I couldn't quite recover from it. So I ended up losing that game 6-14. Also, his Big Knight exploded naturally as well. So, of the 16 War Dogs I killed across 2 games in the singles, 10 of them naturally exploded on me, 2 automatically exploded on me, and of the 1 Big Knight that I killed, 1 exploded on me naturally. Now that doesn't sound too bad. You're going, oh, that's fine. We're just going to have a couple of units being hit. No, Blood Angels tend to pop around knights quite heavily because they have to, for angel sacrifice purposes and whatnot. So every single time a knight explodes, it's hitting 3 or 4 units. So if every knight is hitting 3 or 4 units and I have 12 knights exploding at me, and then a big knight exploding at me, that's just a lot right there. So yeah, but it was a very entertaining game. I was kind of playing up the whole, oh, your dice are loaded thing. You keep exploding on me, and he ended up giving me the dice that were always rolling the 60s for him, and they're not loaded. I did check out of curiosity, but Nicholas, fantastic player. It was a fantastic game. It was a great end of singles. I left with a big grin on my face, even though I went 3-3 in the end. So not the result I wanted. I was hoping to go positive win rate, but I'll take an even win rate any day of the week. But yeah. So if anyone has any questions about the singles, just let me know. And I think we'll take a break from going through the games and talk about a couple of stories that have emerged in WTC, because that's always the best part of the stories, the drama. Although there isn't actually that much drama, which is a nice touch. So, story time. I'm not going to say any names involving any stories, because privacy is important. I'm also not going to say any roles that people held within the team, because then it's pretty easy to reverse engineer names, so it isn't really keeping anything private. So Thursday rolls round, and the whole team is gathered. We're in the, we're at the venue. We're practicing, and I'm playing a game with one of my teammates. Practice game to test out a couple of things. I wanted to test out a secondary in particular, and we wanted to see how a certain team cohesion would form, and just make sure, because it was my first time playing with the team, because I missed the Home Nations team tournament, that we're all happy and we're not going in totally blind. One of their team decided it was also a great idea. Well, maybe not decided, but their thirst in the heat wave got the better of them, and they proceeded to drink about a litre of vodka and some rum, and I don't think there was any other drinks, but that was enough to make this person pass out and fall over drunk. And Martine, for fuck's sake, man, God damn it! You missed the whole part of not saying any names. Oh, god damn! Can I? Thank you, jeez. Taking great care here. Taking great care to not say any names. Anyway, yes. So this individual was definitely worse for wear. We had other teams coming over to us, Team Scotland, and saying, "This is your problem," and we'd go, "Yeah, we know. We just can't do anything." We had officials of the WTC coming up to us and saying, "Is everything okay?" And we're going, "We can't really do much right now. We're really waiting for them to sober up." And someone said you should put them into a taxi. My response was, "What taxi is going to take that?" To a Scotsman who's hung over the end of a table, with a bucket under them. So yeah, it was definitely not a fun time. But that is probably one of the funniest stories to come out because of everyone in the team did not expect this person to end up in that state. And but this is one of our team jokes that have emerged out of this year. It's the just this expression and this hand signal. So we were walking them back to the hotel, and at every stumble, every stagger, that symbol, that gesture was made by this person. Just a nope, stop, don't want to hear it. And it's just, I reckon that's going to carry on for a few years. Whilst we were walking them back, I was chatting to some other members in the team, and again, no names we mentioned here. And I was telling them of a story of a chap that I met at the Newcastle GT earlier on in the year. And they would motivate themselves to win games through victory pleasures. Shall we say? I don't want to say the word in case you get banned or make any more gestures in case you get photoshopped. But yes, so they would do these victory. And I can't decide if this person is being sincere or not. But there we go. This person exists. This person does do their victory. After every single victory, apparently. One of our teammates says, as opposed to what, a consolidation, instead of saying a commiseration. So we're making this joke of, God, we hope you don't play any melee armies, otherwise you're going to be absolutely raw by the end of it. Sorry, I just need to go and do my little consolidation move. Where are you off to? On the bathroom, don't worry about me. But yeah, so that's another good one. What was the... there was another story, but it's not coming to mind right now. So how about we dive back into the recapping of the games, and see how we do. Feel free to chat in chat. Feel free to ask questions at any point. I encourage interaction. So we are now into Friday. We're into the pod day. This is a 14-hour day. Martin, you can say, you feel free to say anything you want as long as it doesn't mention a name. So we're into the pod day. Scotland is in pod 2, I think, which is Germany, Spain, Scotland, and Norway. We're probably in one of the roughest pods that we could hope to be in. Germany and Spain are two fantastic teams with very strong histories, and they've always posed a challenge to Scotland, even at its peak. Norway is not quite there in terms of that renown as far as I'm aware, but it's also not necessarily a free win to us. So it's kind of like a right. And we also find out the round order. We're playing Spain first, then Germany, then Norway. So it's basically we're going to get 2 rough rounds, and then we're going to take our anger out on Norway. And the Norwegians are so lovely. They're so lovely. We'll get to that later. So round 1, Spain, vital intelligence, I believe the mission is, and I get paired into Grey Knights. And the Spanish Grey Knights list is very jumping around the board, lots of interceptors, a couple of, I think it's 3 Nemesis Dread Knights, so then fire support. They've got the Librarian with all the mortal wound powers on it and the buffed mortal wound damage output from witch fire spells, so it's certainly not a free win, but I reckon I can have a pretty good go into it all the same. So, my rough game plan was to score highly on War of the Witch, score highly on Renaissance Assault, and what my third one was Banners. Just hold down my 3 objectives on my side of the board. So, I did that. Did that very well. I was told to push, so I went for push, and I probably ended up giving them a couple more points than they ought to have gotten because of the no prisoner count of them. They killed more in the shooting phase than I thought they would because of their low AP. That is fine, that can happen in some games, so it ended up being a 17-3 to me. So still very happy with that result. I predicted that to be a good matchup for me, so scoring somewhere between 10 and 15 points. I was able to upswing that when I was asked to push. Probably could have done slightly better, probably could have gone like an 18-2 if I was slightly more passive, or if I was better with taking my cover, so it was just, okay, that's fine. We, as Scotland, unfortunately ended up losing that round to Spain. I was one of the very few winning games, as I understand it, for the team, which is okay, it happens. We knew Spain was going to be a rough round. So then we get past from Spain to Germany, feeling a bit worse for wear, but ready for round 2. Ding ding, out of the year, no bell. And another rough round for the team. I get paired into Gene Cult, which I go, fantastic, this should be a good win for me. Gene Cult, I've got Centurions who have Auspex scan. They can hold on the flank, and I can push hard on the other flank if I go first. I went second, and that's okay. That's fine. We'll just do a slightly smaller push, be a little bit more conservative, and very quickly I'm just getting pulled into many directions, as GSC often do. The Champion played against is a fantastic GSC player. I believe their name is Sebastian. Had an amazing game against him. He was an absolute gentleman. When I said, listen, I made a mistake, I was supposed to go, I should have gone and tagged a Goliath rock truck, so I wasn't going to get shot by the 2 other rock trucks for free. They had 0 issue letting me doing it, letting me go and tag that vehicle. I said, yeah, that's fine. And so my hat is off. Florian, thank you, Florian. So fantastic game against Florian. And yeah, he ended up winning that game 55, reminding me of how strong GSC can be when piloted by a good individual. I have newfound respect for GSC as a faction off the back of that, and I'm definitely going to need some practice games into them, because I think it should still be a good win for Space Marines. But yeah, very well played, Florian. Norway time. So Scotland has just been passed between Germany and Spain, and feeling definitely rough for it. And unfortunately, Norway has also done the same thing, but they went Germany, Spain, rather than Spain, Germany. So both teams are kind of like looking at each other, quite tired. It's already been a 10-hour day. and we do our pairings, and I get paired into Chaos Knights, and I played by a lovely gentleman called by the name of Scar, who is now my friend and is awesome, and hopefully I'll get the chance to go play them if I ever go to Norway. I was given an open invite to the Oslo gaming club, so that's nice whenever I'm over that neck of the woods. And one of the first things my opponent says to me is, yeah, so far I've had sisters and then sisters. It's like, oof, that just sounds rough for Chaos Knights. It's like, yeah, I haven't gotten many points today. It's like, I'm thinking in my head, you're not going to get that many more. And I can't remember what the final score of that game was. I'm going to have to look it up. I remember it did end in a win for me, which is nice. Round 3. $13-7 to me, yes. Yep, so roughly what I was expecting from a Chaos Knight game based on practicing Damati, where I do win. It's not a fantastic win, but I do get a good moderate sized win off of that. And Scar played it, I think, pretty well. It was a scouring, so it was a mission where basically my Centurions could just have threat over basically all 4 objectives, or all 5 objectives, if they would go to the middle. And that's kind of what happened. His shooting is mostly AP2 shooting, so 2 of armor save and cover with armor contempt just makes it kind of a dice game. And yeah, that was a rough game for Scar, but we had fun. He was an absolute gentleman and a scholar, and I look forward to playing Scar again. And any of the Norwegians is one of my shirt swaps. I swapped with a gentleman with the nickname of Nordhus, which I think means North House, if my Norwegian is on point, which it probably is not. But yeah, fantastic round against Norway. Scotland ended up winning, I think maybe in triple digits. I'm not sure. Yeah, 102 to Scotland, 58 to Norway. Yeah, so really good round against Norway. Then we have a break. We just kind of relax. We go have a team meeting, I think. And no, we don't have a team meeting. We just go to bed because we're all absolutely knackered. And I think next round is Denmark. Yeah, Scotland into Denmark. And it's told me that traditionally this is a team we usually play, we have a good chance of beating, and we also thought that you guys were our only real chance in the pod. So, Kruor, who are you within Team Norway? Is this Patrick? Is this Captain? Keen to find that out. Oh, yes. Hello, my friend. How are you? But yes, this chap, I'm going to try and pronounce your name now. Kjetil, absolute gentleman. We had many great late night chats whilst walking back from various drinking locations, and it was a fantastic time. So we then played Denmark, our second Scandinavian country of the tournament, and we have a very tight round into them. I get the bus this round. Team Scotland have this pink Disney bus with like Mickey Mouse driving it or Minnie Mouse driving it, and it's got like the little like kids game where you can put the shapes into the holes and you got to put the right shape into the right hole, that kind of stuff. And I get paired into the captain of Team Denmark, by the name of Sebastian, and their sisters. So Blood Angels and the sisters is a terrible matchup because Bloody Rose is Blood Angels but cheaper. It hurts. And we had a couple of swing downs, a couple of swing ups. Well, one swing up and a couple and more swing downs. Being perfectly honest with you, my game plan was try and get 5 points off sisters. If I can get 5 points off sisters in priority targets, I'm going to be a happy individual. I get 4 points. So close to being happy. So close. But we had a fantastic game. They were very sporting. At one point, one of the coaches came up and started talking in Danish, and then they immediately realized and stopped talking Danish. If you don't know, you cannot speak at the tables in anything but English, just so there's no cheating, helping out, pointing out information, stuff like that. All they're asking is, "Do you want some water?" I was like, it's fine. I don't mind if you guys need to resort to that to win that game. The Prodigies and the sisters, that's fine. So we have 0 issues with the Danes. It was a fantastic game. Really happy to play them. Really happy with my result of getting 4 points. Would have liked to get more. It was an 83-77 tie in the end. So if I got a couple more points, if we had a couple more points elsewhere, we would have won the game, getting the 86 threshold. But hey ho, my list wasn't built to go into the sisters. My list was to go into Eldar. Because yeah, power armor does not like makes it a mockery of Centurion shooting. Anyways, into round 5, we go and play Northern Ireland. Hazy, who's in the chat earlier, not sure if Hazy is still here, is a member of, and in fact, I get to play Hazy, and I get put into Necrons, one of the strongest armies in the game. And one thing my army could not deal with at the time, it can deal with now. I have figured out tricks, Hazy, when we rematch. Figured out tricks. It can't deal with Catan. Because Catan are damage capped at 3 per phase. My army is active in 1 phase and is a little bit active in the second. Catan have 9 wounds. So I can't really deal with Catan in a single turn. It takes me 2 full turns to deal with Catan. Hopefully we're still fine. I saw some buffering going on my end. Yeah, we look like we're still fine. Yes, I have now put in, I'm now running Kotias in my lists, Hazy, just to have a cheap Zerger. So watch out. He can do 2d3 damage per turn. In second phase. Hazy ends up winning that game 11-9. Just Necrons en masse doing Necron things. I have a really cute play with the Sanguinor, which I want to talk about briefly. Where, so I have a Death Company unit go in charge a couple of units. I think it was a Tomb Blade and some Ophidian Destroyers. And Death Company wipe the floor with them. I'm just thinking, please charge a Death Company with something. Because I've taken Blade of Sanguinius, and I stupidly put it onto Dante rather than Sanguinor. But I picked his Necron character with the Veil of Darkness, thinking that if Hazy ever teleports anywhere, he's now danger close. So yeah, that was a grand plan. Instead, I was like, oh wait, Sanguinor is real good at getting into the backfield super stupid early because of Death Company bullshit. So yeah, so Hazy does oblige and does charge Death Company with some destroyer or something or other, and I tag just the edge of the squad, so only 1 destroyer is attacking Sanguinor, so there's a good chance Sanguinor survives. Causes -1 to be hit, and Sanguinor does survive. He kills a couple of things, he uses his fallback and charge to go into the Necron whatever, not Cryptech or something like that, with the Veil of Darkness in the following turn, and kills that character because it's a Sanguinor, and he's good at that. And then Hazy's like, oh, I've got a stratagem for 4+ to come back to life, I'm going to use it. And I was like, okay. I'm just going, please don't do this, 50-50, please don't do this. Can't remember what you rolled, but it wasn't a 4-up. And yeah, so 10 points. Just for Sanguinoring things with his Encarmine Broadsword. So Hey, that actually inspires me in one of the future rounds and causes me to get a win there as well, by the way. So, Jose, thank you for that game because you did inspire me. Scotland ends up winning that round 88-72, so a very close game. I'm not sure that's the closest Scotland and Northern Ireland have ever played. Jose probably knows more about that than me, but it was a very close round. Very happy to play in it. I think we gave one of your guys the bus that round. I think the guy who played Innes, Maliki, got the bus from Scotland because he was playing against Innes, and Innes had anger to take out after the Denmark game. So yeah, poor guy. In round 6, we are paired into our third Danish, as our third Scandinavian country, Finland. And this is a bit of a rough round for us. We thought we had a chance of winning. The Finns are historically a very good team, but because we thought, hey, they're playing us, maybe they're having an off year. So we're hoping to win this one. And yeah, looking through the BCP score sheets, it doesn't look great for us. 14 definitely hurts us, and this is a lot of our points in a lot of our games. But I get paired into Drukari, and I'm going, yes, I know Drukari, and I looked at this and went, this is a bit of an interesting list, and interesting in a, I'm not that scared of it way. I can just go T-pose in front of this list. So I do that. And I just decide, and this is something to not do in team events. I decide what happens if I just decide to push. So I was playing a chap called Juicy, and I just chose to push Juicy hard with everything I had, like turn 2 or turn 3, can't remember what it was. Centurions made like a 9-inch charge into Grotesque. And then they just those Centurions proceeded to tank the rest of the army for quite a few turns, letting the Sanguinary Guard do work. And Juicy took Heard the Prey and only got 3 points in it. The mission was tear down the icon, so we were naturally in most of the quarters. So I don't think that was the best pick from Juicy. I ended up taking Beta Sanguinius on the Succubus, and because they only had a couple of transports, and they couldn't put all their characters into all the transports, so whichever characters left out the transport, I'm going to put the Beta Sanguinius onto them, and I'm going to try and Death Company kill them turn 1. As it happened, Death Company killed them turn 1. So definitely not having to deal with the mortal wounds of that Succubus was a big help. But yeah, this was my first WTC 20-0 in the team event to my. So yeah, Juicy, well played. I look forward to playing you again on an army you're more happy with, because we had a very, very fun time together. However, Finland ended up winning that round 94-66, so it was a pretty convincing win to Finland. And then came my last game of WTC 2022, which was against Austria, and it was another Drukari opponent, which I was very happy with, having just 20 with my last Drukari opponent, and it was a pretty similar list, except this list was slightly more refined. And I used the Death Company to go and... No, I decided to use the Eliminators to go and get my early points in Relentless Assault. What I started doing to the team event was I started putting my Eliminators within 12 to 14 inches of their backfield, of their deployment zone. And as long as they have line of sight to something, they're guaranteed to get in. Even if they have to roll in advance, they're guaranteed to get in. And it's going to be 4 points. So, to deal and clear out this threat, my opponent, who I've just blanked with their name, 1 second, Sebastian, brought out their Succubus with the competitive edge to go and take out the Eliminators that were sitting in the backfield. And yeah, that was turn 2. When this happened, I just brought out the Sanguinor, the Sanguinor was my champion for the beta of Sanguinius. The Sanguinor also picked the Succubus, who came out to play because she's easier to kill than an Archon or Homunculus or Dazar for that matter, and kills the Succubus through lightning fast reactions and everything. So it was a very swingy interaction. I had to fight on death to secure the kill because the Succubus attacked Sanguinor first, but I had made sure I had the CP to do that. And I ended up scoring 15 points and costing that guy 1 command point. So that was pretty nice. So that was probably my favorite play of WTC, was scoring 15 points on Beta Sanguinius. The rest of the game was a very typical, very stagey, holding back, dancing around threat ranges. I moved blocked Drukari army a couple times with Death Company and speeders and things like that, just to limit what they could do back to me. And I ended up winning the game 12-8. If I was more aggressive, I could have probably scored higher, but I just couldn't stop them scoring highly on things like no prisoners, or take them alive, whatever they took. I think take them alive is the same category. Just like a melee Drukari army fighting against a melee army, take them alive is such an easy secondary to score. So, but it was an excellent game. Highly enjoyed it. I had 13 of the best games of my life against 13 amazing opponents, plus Matt of Team Scotland. So yeah, it was a really enjoyable experience. I am definitely applying for the team again next year. I'm even going for vice captain of the team, so maybe do a little vlog series on that. But yeah, if you have any questions in the chat about the WTC, about Team Scotland, about if you want to know how to apply to Team Scotland, if you're living in Scotland, just let me know. We'll stay online for a few more minutes. If anyone has any questions about things that happen at WTC that they've heard about, I can maybe give some insights on that. I will not be saying any names or providing any data or information that could potentially link back to an individual, if it's an embarrassing story. But yeah, if you don't have any questions, thank you very much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're going to get back into doing battle reports. I'm going to have one lined up for next week, and then that should be released at some point the following weekend. The thoughts on the hotel. So we chose a hotel that was close to the venue. It was about a 10-minute walk, and that was the only redeeming factor of this hotel. It was not a particularly nice hotel. It had no air conditioning. It had no breakfast options. It didn't have the best facilities, but it was cheap and it was near the venue. And when you're walking back after like 12-hour days, you're grateful to be only a 10-minute walk away from the venue. However, I'm not saying there again. I want somewhere with breakfast, somewhere with the very least a fan, somewhere maybe with a pool would be nice, just to chill if it's a heat wave. Oh, the other thing, yoga mats. A couple of our team bought yoga mats, and yeah, yoga mats are OP on those concrete floors. Hotel Elizabeth. Oh, you're part of the Danish team. Hello. Yes, I will be looking. Basically, as soon as I'm confirmed as vice captain, I know that I'm coming to WTC. I'm booking myself a double room in a nice hotel, and then the rest of the team can book around me. My only condition is any explosive is not allowed into my hotel room, because dude is like a V12 engine. Dude just goes, and it's not nice. Yeah, I low key want to get sponsored mats, like sponsored yoga mats for Team Scotland. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but it'd be pretty awesome if we just rocked up with like the Scotty Dog logo on the yoga mat or something like that. But yes, any other questions, comments about WTC? And so thank you everyone for joining me. It's been great chatting to people. Oh, cool! You got a guy who runs a print shop. I may be in touch with you later on. I'm so adamant about getting these yoga mats. It's going to be on my manifesto as vice captain. Also, if you want to know what it's like to go and do WTC, just go and walk a 10k every single day for a week. That's roughly what it's like. Bright lights. You want to? Oh yes, yes. Team food trolley, team drink trolley. Yeah, that is the way. I saw the French doing that, and I was low key jealous. Just like, oh, we have our wine and we have our cheese, stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely want to get fitter for next year because I didn't realize how much my own personal fitness was going to take part in this. I don't think I ever missed a play because of my fitness, but it definitely would make everything more enjoyable. That's a pretty good bit of tech there, Gruar. Yeah, having some locals there to just to do supply runs for you. I think we want to bring at least a couple coaches just to do that because we had some players run out in between some rounds to a supermarket to go and buy meats, cheeses, fruits, things like that for the team to snack on. Because on one of the days, I think on the Thursday, we finished our round with Spain so late that we had missed all the venue food, so we couldn't get the sausage rolls, we couldn't get the hot dog, the sandwiches that they had an offer. So the team morale was definitely at a low point. Yeah, I was chatting to some other people before the stream, and they're saying like at least 3 coaches is what they want. I was like, yeah, that seems like a good number. I think, yeah, I think beer coach is probably the most premier title that someone could have on their jersey. Just running up and down the aisle getting people beers, because an army marches on its stomach, right? So if you take that to 40k, a team plays on its well stomach and button for beer, beer and whiskey. Can't forget the whiskey. Hazy had a fantastic collection of liquor, and it was the best thing about playing him. What was that? What was that banana rum that you had, Hazy? That was delicious. I remember having a taste of that, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. I was drinking Monkey Shoulder all week, and people were fawning over it. Bamboo, yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah, it was so nice. Yeah, if you also want to know what the WTC is like, have lots of different liquors. Drinking is part of it. But it was good fun. I actually lost weight because of all the walking. I weighed myself when I came back, and I was like 2 kilograms lighter, which is a pleasant surprise. First time I've gone on a holiday and lost weight. So there you go. WTC boot camp for weight loss. That's what we need. We just need a heat wave and some nerds. Hey, nice! Lost 2.5 kilograms. That's awesome. Yeah, aquavit. I think you guys gave Innis some, and I tasted it, and it's an acquired taste. I think. I do remember that Team Scotland did drink a bar of cider. That was quite fun. It's not like the Aussies drinking a bar of vodka though, because I heard that story as well. Yeah, that team played hard and partied hard. They were an inspiration. Also, the Aussies won most Sporting as well as first place. So I mean, like, holy shit, like that is like the ultimate flex. We're going to crush you, but you're going to be nice about it, and you're going to be leaving with a big smile. Um, and yeah, so hats off to the Aussies. Um, but yes, anyway, I think as we're coming up at 10 o'clock my time now, we're going to end the stream here. So thank you very much for the interactions. Thank you very much for your questions. Thank you for your time in watching this vlog. I am going to be getting back into battle reports. If you don't know anything about my channel, I do short form battle reports. Each battle report will be under 1 hour. And it will feature some very high level commentary focusing on competitive 40k, the latest techs, and the latest tactics. I try to get as good of opponents on the channel as possible, and when there is a mismatch in opponent skill, I always try to make sure that I get in a guest to play against them, so it's always an even matchup, because I think that makes the best games to watch. So it's likely going to be Blood Angels into something else, because I'm still practicing Blood Angels, bring them in LGT. So if you're looking to watch some high level competitive games, follow the channel, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. Like, comment, subscribe, all the algorithmy things I'm trying to remember to say. But yeah, thank you for watching, have a good one, and peace out.